Hey everybody, it's Bust with Busted Strategies number 50. Nice little round number. Get 50 of these things out here and going. Another Midnight Hunt draft. And so, yeah, uh, just wanted to say I am going to stream. I'm going to do it on the old YouTube on Sunday. That would be November the 7th. So it will be tomorrow if you watch this video as it comes out. Looking to start up around 8 a.m. Central Time and then stream for 3 or 4 hours. So get to stream until the football starts and then jump off and go watch the games. And so yeah, I'm not used to do the Runeterra streaming over on Twitch. I figure you're already here on YouTube. Uh, I'm not going to be collecting a bunch of Twitch Prime subscriptions, and so let's just go ahead and leave it all on YouTube and keep everything in one location. And so that's the idea. We'll start up around 8. I haven't streamed on YouTube before, so I'm going to have to kind of figure it out. But I don't think it'll be too bad. I don't think it'll be too bad. Okay, so let's get started in here, and we open up a Wrenn and Seven. Sure, I mean, we'll draft it. I'm not like really excited about starting out with green. Like, I would not fault you for just taking defense straight here, but we'll go in with the Wrenn and Seven and get a nice draft in with the planeswalker. Kind of the problem I have with green is the way that we like to draft it is we don't really want to start in green. We want to start in Esper, and then if we have Esper cards come to us, then fantastic. We're drafting into the top 3 decks. The top 3 decks are all in Esper, but we're kind of like watching for like 6th and 7th pick Moonrager lightning bolts and Shadow Beast sightings, and that's kind of our indicator that hey, these the off colors are open, and you don't get to do that if you start with Wrenn and Seven, and so there's a pretty good chance we don't even want to play green, but. We're playing green today. Well, we'll try to play green. As you watched our previous video, we started with the blue red rare, and then just drafted like zombies. So we tried, but it just didn't happen. Okay, so here I'm going to go with the Hound Tamer. It's the most powerful, one of the most powerful green cards you can find. This is one of the reasons you want to be playing green. There is a Thermo Alchemist looking back at us. I don't want to be jumping into green red. Like the only times I really want to play green red would be as if like we have a Kessig Naturalist and the likes of Tovalar, the gold one, and not so much because just like we've picked up Hound Tamers and Midnight Lightning Bolts. But I think this is fine. We aren't missing out too much on the Esper cards. These are all filler Esper cards, and so this is at least okay. We will have to pick up a second color at some point, but there's nothing that screams jump into something else. Okay. Well, we got a Shadow Beast sighting. That would be fine. Again, this is kind of odd. There's no really compelling Esper cards. So the Shadow Beast sighting's fine. I mean, maybe if these Moonrager slashes are rolling around, that's just where we'll be. But I typically don't read into a Moonrager slash unless it's like a 5th or a 6th pick or so, right? There's a rare and a common missing out of this pack. And so if they took, a good rare and a defense straight, it's not so much to see a Moonrager slash sitting here at pick 3. So we would rather be getting these Shadow Beast sightings a little bit later, but not what's happening here. Okay, so there's no green cards apparently, so we'll just be taking the Morning Patrol. Reasonable enough to be in green white. I think blue green is better than green white, but green white is certainly a serviceable archetype. But Morning Patrol not super strong in that one, but we'll see how these things fall. We've got to push on with a Candle Grove Witch. That's completely fine. Okay, so things keep moving on. With this, I'm going to go with the Dawnheart Rejuvenator. It's super clicked it, sorry. I do kind of like that one-cost Root Walla, but you can pick those up late. But if you're really looking for the mana fixing out of a Dawnheart Rejuvenator, it's not replaceable. And so I want to go ahead and pick it up early while we can. With this, I'll take the Pestilent Wolf. We're looking like we're going to kind of fall into a Coven deck, but it still doesn't make me want to play Timberland Guide. He's pretty trash. Gavany Trapper, the best out of what remains here. Okay, and the duel for dominance. And so good. With the duel for dominance, it does make me at least feel like none of the other dum-dums at the table are drafting green. Like, we should have gotten a pretty good lock on green. And then it does appear that white is open. I've seen nothing that makes us believe otherwise for these colors. And so I think we'll have to see if there's like a Moonrager slash at pick 11. I don't think there's going to be, but that would be pretty good indicator red is open if we get a 11th pick lightning bolt. Yeah, coming together reasonably. We could always look to play 3 colors as well. I did want to say, like, Shadow Beast Sighting isn't super good in the Coven deck in green-white. I really prefer to be in blue with this thing if we're going to try and ramp them out. But if we're playing blue, like, we'll take the Unblinking Observer here just in case this is the way things fall. Then we're happy to play like 3 and 4 Shadow Beast Sightings. But if we're in green-white, I don't really want to play more than 2. Okay, well, probably not going to play Secrets of the Key. Probably not going to play Timberland Guide either, but we'll just go ahead and add him to the sideboard and come back to Timberland Guide if we're really hurting for 2 drops. Okay, Sun Gold Barrage to the sideboard. Okay. So yeah, not a bad collection of green cards. We've got the big power and the tamer and the Wrenn. We've got the Shadow Beast Sighting and a removal spell and duel for dominance. Our secondary color not locked in yet. Still definitely a world where we play Simic and don't play white. Also, if we end up in Simic, it's very easy to splash a 3rd color. If you have a Root Coil Creeper and a Dawnheart Rejuvenator, it goes a long way into adding a 3rd color into your deck pretty easily. Okay, so what do we got here? You got the rare Intriskatophile. The Ambitious Farmhand is one of the premier white cards, though. That's kind of what I'm immediately looking towards here. And then otherwise, nothing in red or black that makes us want to consider if we're not playing white. So yeah, I think the Farmhand is fine. I think it's certainly better than the Triskatophile. So let's add you in. And a bunch of turds. A bunch of turds. So I don't want any of these white cards or these green cards. I'm looking at just picking up Geist Wave. You know, if we start to see like Root Coil Creepers, we can switch into that. I was also just kind of considering Eaten Alive. You know, green-white doesn't have any removal outside of the Oblivion Ring, and so if we have Eaten Alive and we have a Dawnheart Rejuvenator and like a Jack-o'-lantern or something, we could potentially splash it. But I think there's still a world where we end up in blue-green, and if we end up in blue-green, we're going to want this Geist Wave. I want to ramp out to Wrenn and Sevens. what we're going to be doing today. Yeah, let's go ahead and move the white cards back into the main deck. I'm pretty confident that that's where we're going to land. Let's see, the Farmhand, Patrol, Candle Grove. Okay, so yeah, I mean, more cards that make me just kind of like lightly consider a black splash. There is the Rite of Oblivion here. It's not like super good in green-white because we don't have a lot of just sacrificable units, right? But it could be okay. I think I'm kind of okay with giving up on blue at this point. We need to see something pretty strong if we're going to go after it. I'm going to take the Rite of Oblivion here, and I don't think it's crazy to think we could table Path to the Festival. Like, I'm not excited about playing a card like Path to the Festival, but we could definitely pull it off. Okay, and then a Dawnheart Mentor. Very, very powerful in the Coven deck. This is just one of the premier Coven bros. Lets you play like a Candlegrove Witch or the 3/1 green guy on 2, and then immediately hit a Coven on turn 3. Quite strong. All right, and then if we're not taking Scab Wranglers, we can just get these blue cards out of our deck. right? And then a second Shadow Beast sighting. I'd much rather have the second Shadow Beast sighting than the second Duel for Dominance. And then the only thing we really need to watch out for now is we don't have any interactivity, right? Our deck is just full of units. We have the one Duel for Dominance, and so we need to pick up some combat tricks, and we need to pick up some removal. That removal, ideally not Silver Bolts. I'm going to put in Path to the Festival. I would rather just splash Rite of Oblivion than I would play before I would rather play Silver Bolts. Okay, Broodweaver's fine. Don't think we're going to play it, but it could end up happening. Kind of feeling like we're going to play this Rejuvenator and Path to the Festival and the Rite of Oblivion, and I don't really want to have too many 4-drops. Okay, stuck with Might of the Old Ways. I really prefer Flare of Faith, but I don't think we've even seen Flare of Faith up to this point. White doesn't seem like it's really open, at least coming from the left. And we got a lot of white in pack 1, kind of late. We got a lot of the filler, and I don't think it's open. You know, we can get all the Path to the Festivals if we want them, but I'm reasonably happy enough with one Homestead Courage. All right, I guess we'll finally pick up the Silver Bolts. I don't plan on playing it, but it's here. That's so wild with Silver Bolts. Like as the format first started, Silver Bolts looked to be playable. People were like way over drafting red green, and then it just doesn't exist now. There's just no werewolves worth really chasing down. Just if you end up in like blue green or green white or something and have absolutely no removal, then you're like, I guess I'll play a Silver Bolt. But it's not something I ever really want to be playing. And Jesus, a 14th pick Startle. People. All right, well, I mean, it doesn't matter if white's open if you just open all the good white cards. And so more than happy to pick up Adeline. She's extremely powerful, and she fits really well in theme with what we're trying to do in terms of giving us a bunch of sacrifice fodder to Rite of Oblivion. She makes it really easy to hit covens. She's quite good. Then we could potentially table something like Shadow Beast Sighting. Well, I'm looking more like Might of the Old Ways over Shadow Beast Sighting, but I think we'll get a green card playable out of this as well. But Adeline, quite good. So yeah, we need to work on the bottom end of our curve. Happy to see something like Harvesttide Sentry here. That's where I feel like the place we're lacking now is our top end is fine with the Shadow Beasts and the Wrenn and Seven. We have super mid game power with like the likes of Adeline. We just need to have our early game plays. Probably not going to pick up much in the way of interactivity, but there is a defense trait. I think I'm at least happy enough with just the singular Rite of Oblivion. Oh, Jesus, and Catilda? Oof. Talk about picking up some ramp. Catilda is where it's at. Just so huge with this. She does give us the way to get the Shadow Beasts down on turn 3. She lets the humans tap for any color of mana, so we'll very easily splash this Rite of Oblivion, and then just a super late game high-powered ability in that 6 mana thing. Give all your bros some abilities. Looking good. Okay, well, here's a Flare of Faith. I'm not a huge fan of... that's a Gavany Trapper. I was going to say, I'm not a huge fan of Lunarch Veteran. I don't think we ever really want it. Although, you do have to stop and, like, pause as you have Catilda, since you can play your Wrenn and Seven on turn 3 if you play a human on 1 and then a Catilda on 2. But I'm just going to take the Flare of Faith here. We're hurting for the interactivity. I think we're starting to get in a pretty strong place. Second Harvesttide Sentry is good. Okay. I'm pretty happy with what's happening here. And then a Borrowed Time. Oh man, what a place to be. Oh man, if white, whoever's playing white to our left is going to be pissed. Oh, so much good white out of this pack with Adeline and Catilda and the removal spell. Quite happy. Well, the Disturbed guy's not getting 10th pick. I'll take the boost to our weekly chest or whatever it is. All right. Yeah, I'm liking this. Getting up to pick 9. Well, pick 8's the last pack we haven't seen, but pick 9 is where we have the potential to hit. That was like the Shadow Beast sighting pack. These we're not gonna play anything. I'll pick up the Howl of the Hunt, just in case. Well, I guess we should probably just pick up Candle Trap. I don't like Candle Trap in these decks. It doesn't actually do anything. So since we're so ground based, dang, the Shadow Beast sighting in table. I'd really consider playing it since we have the Catilda, but got the Might of the Old Ways. Probably not playing that either. 3 is a bit much. You have any Silversmith? I don't think it's going to make the cut here, but this is one of the more powerful ways to activate your covens. So interesting. I think as far as this deck goes, our big consideration is, do we want to play Rite of Oblivion? Which I'm like less compelled to do so since we picked up Borrowed Time, but it's still just a premium removal. And like, so if we're gonna like, if we want to play Rite of Oblivion, we have to like include this package where we play Rite of Oblivion and Jack-o'-lantern. That's what lets us. Oh, in the Path to the Festival, that's what lets us get that like one swamp. And it's like if we just cut out these 6 cards here to the right, then we have a deck. But that's like a deck with just like a ton of with a ton of combat tricks in it. I don't really like that. Right? If we let's see, let me pull these cards out again. Like here's the Candle Trap Silver Bolts we don't want, and then our hey, I'm trying to play removal package looks like Jack-o'-lantern, Rite of Oblivion, Dawnheart Rejuvenator, and Path to the Festival. And so, like, it is a pretty reasonable deck over here to the left. My only problem with this deck, though, is we're playing 4 combat tricks, right? We got the Flare Faith, the 3 Might of the Old Ways, the Sword of Trick, and Homestead Courage. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't think we're being, like, a really aggressive deck. I get that we have these, like, Harvest-Tide Sentries, and we have some, like, really aggressive Coveney draws that we can hit, but I'm kind of thinking this more in terms of like if you've played zombies before, the blue black zombies deck, you're nine games out of 10 you're just playing the kind of standard. I'm gonna lock up the board with some like 1/4s and 1/3s, and I'm gonna play a flyer and a removal spell, and we're gonna grind out some card advantage. Like you're just kind of like classic control deck. But like once or twice out of every 10 games you'll have that draw to where you just play like Larder Zombie into the Lord, into a Falcon Abomination, into an Organ Hoarder, and then you have like double removal spell on turn 5, and your opponent didn't play a 2-drop, and you just fucking blast them, right? And it's not like you're playing some kind of like real tempo-y blue black zombies deck. It's just the way your hand came together, playing cards that are normally in your deck, and your opponent stumbled and you just blast them. And that's what I see happen like sometimes with this deck. But I think the majority of the time we have like such really strong late game in Catilda and in Hound Tamer, Dawnheart Mentor, and Wrenn and Seven that like I'm kind of interested in playing the Path to the Festival Dawnheart Rejuvenator just to help us like have the mana to play all this shit. And I concede that we can kind of have these aggressive draws with like a Harvest-Tide Sentry into Adeline and then play like a combat trick or something. But I think most of the time we're going to be like this real dirtily mid-range deck, and that makes me want to play this this kind of like slow removal spell package. And so like I think I'm kind of content with that. If we say that gets to stay, say we take out 2 Might of the Old Ways, and then where does that leave us in terms of units and stuff? We technically have 16, 17 if you want to call Wrenn and Seven a unit, so we can drop out a little bit more here, and then our interactivity looks okay. 2 combat tricks, 1 real removal, the Rite of Oblivion. Path to the Festival counts as ramp. Okay, I think I dig it. So I think we can take out the Pestilent Wolf. I'm looking at taking out Morning Patrol. But we do have a lot of 4s. I think it's like I kind of still want to get the Silversmith, even though we aren't trying to do like super coven things. He can assist us with the covens and help us with the board stalls. I'm curious if I actually just want to play like Broodweaver, though. We do have some issue with flyers. I think we can live with that. And then we'll have 4 4s, 1 5. We need to fix our mana. I don't want 3 swamps. I only want 1 swamp. Swamp. And then 8 and 8. I think that's okay. Yeah. I like it. I like it. So let's do it. Let's get to battle. Okay. Round 1 begin. Cool little deck we have here. Lots of just real high-powered stuff. Surprised we didn't just like open a cigar to go go along with it all. But looking good. Looking good. Let's see. Starting with our swamp and no forest. This isn't the way. This isn't the way things are supposed to go. We got to send this one away. A little better. I think I actually just want to get rid of the Homestead Courage and keep all the land. Try and get some usage out of old Wrenn and Seven. Hello. Okay. Adeline can certainly turn the tide. Feel a lot better though if they're gonna have this like super slow draw where they aren't doing anything. I think that has to play to our favor. Ooh, you did not play a land, my friend. Sure. This is for a search party captain. If he wants to flare a faith off of our Gavany Trapper, completely okay with that. Yep. Dudes is out here playing mono white. This is fine. We're gonna have to tap something here pre-combat. We don't have to. We can get through this with a duel for dominance. I think this is still okay. Our duel for dominance is going to be covened as well. Like if he wants to put double blocks onto Adeline, then we still have a good duel. Now we get in for an extra point of damage. Okay. There's the green. Okay. He can attack if he wants, and then we're going to tap his oh, he's out of mana, so we can just tap a unit here. Get us 2/3. We miss. I meant to attack with the little 1/1. I guess we missed that. It's not that spectacular, I guess. He could have blocked it with the Gavany Trapper, but I meant to make that attack. And this Donhard Mentor should be pretty soul-crushing here. Even just giving Adeline Trample, make her like a 10 attack Trample. Not a bad place to be. Alright, yeah, what you got? This is a concession? Fair enough. Okay, round 2. Ready. To get right into this in the last video, if you click the end turn button, but change your mind before it ends, you can quickly, that was the key, right? The quickly word here was quickly press enter. I can't remember if we won or lost that game where I accidentally pushed the little arrow at the bottom instead of the pass phase button. We're learning. We're learning. All right, well, this hand's asking for trouble, but I don't think we can mulligan it. Just a high possibility we can't do anything here. But I don't know, if we get a human with Adeline and are able to sacrifice that off to Rite of Oblivion, I could see that being a thing. Just like Rite of Oblivion's not a card we want to draw until like turn 6 or turn 7. We aren't a zombie-based deck to where, you know, we just have a bunch of dudes laying around we can easily sacrifice off. Okay. I don't think we'll be allowed to get a block here. Very easy for opponent to put a 3-attack unit and fly over us, but if he attacks with the Candlegrove Witch, I'll trade. Like, again, we aren't trying to be an aggressive, racy style deck. We're just trying to stall to the late game. And it's looking more and more like we're going to have to Path to the Festival next turn, as it is. So, a little unfortunate. Yeah, we can't do it all. We can't Jack-o'-lantern and play Adeline. So, plains it is. Nah, I think I'm cool to draw the forest. No attacks. we're pretty confident we're just going to get tapped here and have to take 5. But if this gives us some options next turn in terms of like maybe tapping one of his units and slowing him down a little bit, I'll be pretty happy with it. Mm-hmm. Get us with that 5-piece nugget. You got it, my man. Alright, so then he's probably going to be tapping something on our turn. Why not? He'll either be another Cathar Commando or tap something. Makes sense. Okay. And so, I mean, assuming he has to spend a mana to tap Adeline to get an attack in, he's like really slow at that point. I'm pretty okay with that. Ooh. So you're going to be dropping some green cards on us? Could be dropping our Adeline, it looks like. See ya. So, I mean, a little unfortunate in terms of we would like to have that unit on the board so we could make the human and sacrifice, but it's okay. We really just need some time here. The pre-combat Griff Guide. Sure. Are we gonna have to like start sacrificing stuff off to just deal with these flyers? It's kind of a unfortunate situation to be in. Here's one way to deal with a flyer. We'll immediately lose our Wrenn, but this is gonna give us that 6/6 reach token. He's gonna have to do some serious work to get around this.
They prepare for war.
Right, I have to assume that he's going to like tap our token and then send at least one thing into Wrenn and Seven. But it's okay. Yep.
The heat has become unbearable.
Alright, well, let's start getting some of this stuff off the board. I think we can, say, play Morning Patrol. I'm going to sacrifice off the Morning Patrol, take down the Soulgriff Guide. Well, I guess the question is, would we rather just sacrifice Candlegrove Witch? I don't think so. I want to get the flyer down next turn for our Morning Patrol. So, let's sacrifice, or target you. Sacrifice you. And then can we just, like, attack with Candlegrove Witch? We should probably give that another turn. Okay. Right, if he tries to tap both of our dudes next turn, that's kind of unfortunate. We'll get this Gavany Trapper ready just in case it has to block a Cathar Commando. I don't really want to be taking 5 damage this turn. And so it would suck to lose a Trapper. It's like getting to the prime time of goodness for Gavany Trappers. But again, I think as long as this game progresses, we'll be able to take advantage. Our top end just has to be way better than our opponents. And I would assume one counter is going on, I was going to say the Candlegrove. I want to see if he messed up his Coven. That would have been pretty cool. What would we like to have happen this game? This guy mess up his Coven. Sure. Bit unfortunate here. We can only play one spell. Oh, I guess we can add Morning Patrol, and then we can put a counter on it. So then it can hopefully trade with the Witch. All right, we're getting close. We're getting close. And you can get one more tap, but we have a good. Well, I guess we can lose out on our good block if he taps our, say, like Harvest Tide Sentry, then attacks with the Silversmith. We get our first attack of the game, though. If he doesn't tap our Apparition, get in with the vigilance. Okay, and so I'm thinking like I just want to sacrifice off our Candlegrove Witch and take his down. That seems like the kind of the safest play to me. Target a permanent. You. Sacrifice you. It's pretty good for him. He's going to get Scries and the card advantage. He kept it on top. Seems like he doesn't plan on attacking. Or he would have tapped something first. We can come out here and just trade our boards away, then fine. Alright, another chunk. We're getting them. Probably going to drop something good on us if he scried to the top. He's not at any risk of dying. I'm surprised he won't just play another Path to the Festival. Like, he's not going to die for like 5 turns at the bare minimum, right? So, I mean, I would think just go ahead and get the other land on play, get another Scry. He's not at risk of anything here. Exiles. Man, if that was defense trait, we could Flare Faith through it. That's bad. That's probably enough to end the game. Gotta draw something good. Need a big source of card advantage. Not sure what that amounts to. Shadow Beast sightings wouldn't be bad. Hound Tamer would be good. Catilda might be okay. Just gotta get something on board. The land would be pretty disastrous. Oh, That's 2 units. 2 units is better than 0 or 1. Okay, okay. Be pretty close to lethal, too. I mean, we can get a surprise 6 damage in between Flare of Faithing a Human and then the Dawnhard Mentor bonus. So, might be enough. Is he about to get clever? The morning apparition. Look at the play on words. I never realized it was the morning sad patrol and then the morning patrol, like in the morning, in the AM hours apparition. She's out here watching the European stream. Because this clearly takes place in America, right? All right, another path to the festival. Goes right back to the top. Last time that was a removal spell. So I think I want to come in with 2 units here, given the chance. If we can attack with both the Morning Apparition and the Harvesttide Sentry, I'm gonna do it. Trying to decide if he can shut down our whole team if he lets this through. Okay. And we should be pretty safe. Since we have the Broodweaver, we'll just assume that he's going to draw Defense Straight, right? If he draws the second Eaten Alive or the Exile card that we have, that's a real problem. But if his play is to say, like, tap our humans to play around Flare of Faith and then play a removal spell on the Broodweaver, then we get the Spider back. And if he does it a different way, right, if he tries to say, tap our Mentor, tap our Broodweaver, and then play Defense Straight on our token, then we can Flare of Faith through. So it's a little dangerous, right? He did just get to scry a card to the top, but I mean, I think even if like almost any unit, you just kind of have to push to the top, and so I think it's fine. It's the Eaten Alive. You gotta be fucking kidding me. All right, guy. Well, you did it. The one card. Well, I don't think we were too greedy there. There's literally 2 cards in the game that are able to get him out of that situation, and happen to have multiple Eaten Alives. And is what it is. Alrighty, on to the next one. Still have ourselves a strong deck here. I think we're going to have some reasonable success with this one. Eaten Alive. I guess he could have had a Brutal Cathar as well. But I mean, you're not going to play around that specific set of cards. That's wild. The Eaten Alive is pretty tough to splash as well. It's a double black on the expensive or sacrificing unit on the cheap. So you essentially have to sacrifice a unit to it every time. We can't keep hands like this, though. That's not going to do it. A little bit better. We can mulligan away this Rite of Oblivion, but we need some help. Need some help here. Alright, Jack-o'-lantern's ready for action. What have we got? Other white deck. Sure. Well, let's do that aggression thing everybody's talking about. Next. Boom. Now, I think I do want to go ahead and sacrifice off this Jack-o'-lantern, though. He is playing black. There is a world where he has flashback cards, but I feel like we need to just draw. So, we'll add the planes. Submit 0. Really, it tapped our forest automatically. Fuck. I guess, I mean... Oh, hang on. Oh, no, we just fucked that up. I was thinking that we were just going to have the mana from this. Oh, that wasn't pretty. We should have just played the Sentry. Oops. Little whoopsies there. Alright, if you have Flare Faith, that's fine. I think it's too obvious if we don't just go ahead and lead with the Homestead Courage that we're going to combat trick him. But this turn would be a lot better if we had a Sentry on the board. Oh no, is he gonna go for the Flesh Taker the Flesh Taker sacrifice a unit block? Oh boy, this has the potential for blowouts. Oh, he's just giving us a free one. Alright, well that's not as free, but... let's charge on, I guess. This is pretty scary. I mean, he's got 5 cards in hand. We're super all in on this Harvestide Sentry. So, a little bit scared here. Going to add the Outrider. I don't think we're going to be able to get the 2 less attack can't block next turn or whatever. It's too easy for him to have plays where he like taps one of our units and then flips the Ambitious Farmhand. Sure. I think this game's gotten out of reach. I don't know where this game went. It's got 2 in Graveyard. We've got 1 in Graveyard. Did we mulligan on the play? Is that what happened to us here? Where did everything go? Right. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards to his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards? How are we 4 cards behind? Something. Oh, okay. So the Homestead Courage Jack-o'-lantern. The Jack-o'-lantern cycled. Alright, well, he's flipping Farmhand this turn. There's nothing we can do about it. slightly greedy. Yeah, I don't see how we fell so far behind in cards. I mean, I know we fucked up in the early game where we should have we should have played that Harvest-Tide Sentry. We probably missed out on like 6 damage because of that, but it's so weird. And then I feel like, I mean, his last card's probably Flare of Faith. We thought that he was going to have one earlier. Maybe he didn't have the Flare of Faith because he had that Blessed Defiance, but... Alrighty, let's see if that gets us somewhere. Probably not. Probably not. This would feel a lot better if he was at 4, right? I feel like we could have gotten 1 hit in with the Harvest-Tide Sentry and taken them to 4, and then we would have like realistic draws to end the game next turn. But 5, if he loses 2 creatures... If he loses 2 creatures, he can lethal us. He's got a block on this one. I don't think we have outs, but let's see. Maybe you'll do something dumb and we win with an Oblivion Ring. Right? You can always count on them. Maybe they'll do something dumb. Alright, well, let's see. I'm not seeing it here, but this would be... Oh man, if they were at 3 or at 4, then we could kill him with Flare Faith. I guess we could still technically kill him with Flare Faith, but I assume he's going to have another card here. He's got 2 in hand. Yep. Okay. Oh, come on, deck. You're so much better than this. You're so much better than this. That was so weird. I guess it just felt like we were down like 3 or 4 cards or something. We even got the 2-for-1 in there with our combat trick. It just felt like we were so far behind. But yeah, that was pretty inexcusable though with the Jack-o'-lantern. We should have just. I thought that we were going to be able to like cycle it off. I forget that it costs like mana to do shit. I just assumed that like once it's on the board, you just get that to turn one of your mana into any color of mana, and that just did not go right. So we would have definitely had much more aggression if we had had that on board, and then we would have had better turns as well as to where we could have split out those counters, so we could have had the 2/4/2s instead of a 5/3 and a 3/1. Just kind of nullify his one attack units. So that's not how you get to Mythic. Let's see. All right. Well, we got Catilda, nothing else. I don't think we can mulligan a hand like this. Got to draw something. By draw something, I did not mean land. We need to draw units. Let's be a little more specific. No, just draw some land. I feel you, game. I feel you. See if he pops us with that Neonate's Rush. Nope. All right, well, land it is. Land or what's hot. Oh my god. This is bad. We can at least play both of our cards this turn, right? That feels somewhat better. Like if he attacks with both, we can make a Flare Faith play. I don't think I want to be making a Duel for Dominance play, but can. Maybe I am okay with that. Take down the Ecstatic Awakener. He's about out of cards, and we have a Borrowed Time in hand. Okay, I'm on board. I was like, now we'll draw a Shadow Beast sighting, and everything will be okay. I'll block. I'll block that Hobbling Zombie. Alright. Feeling a little better. You a human? Yeah, human Warlock. Those aren't common. I was worried about the Neonate's Rush. I guess it finally hit. Damn. We were about to really pop off with her. But I felt like if he had to have just drawn Neonate's Rush. I feel like if he had it earlier, he would have definitely snapped it off. Now, do we have to, like, Borrowed Time this Blood Thief? I don't think so. There aren't, like, too many scary cards coming out of Black-Red, but I'd rather stop, like, a Fly, or if he's playing that big, dumb Trample creature or something, shut down something like that. He's going to get, like, another counter off of the Blood Thief, but I don't particularly care. So many good draws. Let's just throw away the Sentry. I think I'm pretty okay with that. Keep our more defensively oriented units on board and kind of protect ourselves from more Neonates rushes. Okay. Are we willing to just take a hit from the Bat Whisperer? Like we gotta pick something at some point that we're willing to throw a Borrowed Time on. I don't think this is it. Let's wait. We have such good blocks next turn. Right, I assume he's probably going to attack with the Perforator, but we have good blocks otherwise. Mm-hmm. Very awkward mana. Might have to just trade away this Hound Tamer. Maybe we should have traded away the Hound Tamer last turn. Doesn't feel right. He's stopping the Blood Thief for the moment. And then if we draw a land and get to... Well, we don't want to draw the land anymore. We don't. It takes 8 mana to start doing stuff now. This is fine. Yeah, you bringing it? That's a danger. That's a danger. We could have played the Might of the Old Ways, but I think this is still reasonable. Let's just get the whole squad down. I have to imagine if he had a trick last turn, then he would have just played it. And so this is fine. Oh shit! We should have attacked with the apparition. We missed a couple points of damage, but hopefully that doesn't get us. Here's our big turn. Can't do it exactly how I want, but this is gonna let us flip our farmhand. Get our blocker, our Might of the Old Ways. That's gonna give us a coven. Now that we're covened, we can flip the farmhand. Oh my gosh, we're just missing it all. I was like, oh no, our Broodweaver is going to tap. We shouldn't attack with it. We want to be able to take down the Blood Thief. Oh my god, this is... I don't know why anybody bothers to watch these videos. just embarrassing shit over and over again. Learn from my mistakes. That's why we do it like this. Learn from my mistakes. Okay. That doesn't seem like a good attack. I did the mathematics on that one. Alright, we've got 11 land on board. We only got 6 left in the old Deckaroo here. Necrosynthesis. Alright. Alright. That's what you can do with 11 mana. You play 2 Shadow Beast sightings. We'll draw the Mentor. We have the mana to play the second Path to the Festival, but I don't want to shuffle away the Mentor. That should be enough to do it. We hadn't missed like 100 damage this game. Probably just end it here, but that was some seriously sloppy shit. Seriously sloppy. All right. Glad to see this deck can win a game though. Ridiculous. So much raw power in this thing. Yeah, there's a bug in my water. Get out of here. It flew away. Don't worry, I didn't need it. Okay. A fresh game. These are so dangerous. If we draw 1 land, I think it's okay. The Mentor will have the unit with the Might of the Old Ways. I think this is fine. Little risky, but I think we're good with 1 land. Opponent with the risky land as well. Swamps only. Here come the gray merchants. Sure. There you go. Keep it interesting.
Sweetly, the will of the woods is made manifest.
Oh, bring in the heat, huh? Nope, we want to do this. We're blocking everything. He's going to have some amount of trickage or cartage here, and that's fine. We're just going to keep getting progressively ahead if he has to try and deal with Wrenn and Seven. There's going to be like a Flare of Faith or something coming down here, and it's not going to be enough to make this a positive combat.
Rich soil grows.
That's pretty decent. Ambitious Farmhand being our only play, a little less so, but... Do we ever try and keep Wrenn around twice? I don't think so. I think at this point we probably just want to make a token and get him off of the board. We're never going to like get him to make a third token. Feel like we'll get a pretty positive Flare of Faith here. Got him. Cool. And that's kind of the thing with Wrenn. I mean, I guess he like made a token. Our opponent made some shitty attacks. We picked up like 2 land and half a spell, and then we're gonna make another token. That's not bad value. I mean, we're not playing like Essica's Chariot or anything, but it's not bad. I mean, we could have like realistically even used the put all your land on the board. I mean, it's like surprisingly relevant when you have the likes of both Dawnhard Mentor and Hound Tamer. On our play, this is too risky, right? We have like eight forests in our deck. Where are we at? Land, forest, 8. So this is kind of like, I think it's about like a 25% chance to draw a forest. Let's look for something a little safer. That's not it. I'm not going to 5. Welcome to the format. So we'll have to send away Adeline. Who knows when we'll actually hit double white, if ever. So it is what it is. Not like this game. Come on, this deck is so good. Okay. There we go. You just gotta say not like this and the game listens. Oh. All in on the sifters. That's fine. We have some time here. I want to get the Dawnhart Rejuvenator down, and then just kind of max out on our mana. It's really bad for us if we play Shadow Beast Sighting and then he has a bounce spell. So we need to get some board presence that isn't a token. He's highlighting as Bait Hook Angler. I'm curious if this is like a Geist Wave into Bait Hook Angler play. Winterthorn Blessing's pretty much the same thing. Okay. Then Wrenn and Seven. So, I don't think I like it. We're still pretty safe on our health. We can add the Shadow Beast. We can add the Trapper. No, I just feel a lot safer. Like if he wants to Winterthorn Blessing the token, then he can get in for 3, 6, 7. But then we can gain 3 of it back with our Ambitious Farmhand with an attack next turn, and then still follow up with the Candlegrove Witch, or we can tap something on his turn. I think this is completely fine. If his only play for the turn is to flashback Winterthorn Blessing, that seems like kind of a loser of a play for them. Okay. All right, so how do we best get on board? We have 6 mana. Would have been so nice if we picked up a land there and could flip the farmhand and tap. That's not where we're at. None of our blockers are particularly good either. Coming out of hand being the Candlegrove Witch or the Harvesttide Sentry. Do we feel okay about just adding Wrenn and Seven at this point? Say what happens though if we like add Wrenn and Seven and then he Winterthorn Blessings our token? That's pretty horrific. So let's just get a dude on board. And this way, we at least get like a tap onto the 5/5. So what if he has a combat trick, right? Say he has a +2/+2. I'm looking at like blocking his Shipwreck Sifters with Dawnheart, Rejuvenate, or Harvesttide Sentry. Do we just like lose the game at that point? We're taking 4. Okay. We'll wait until next turn. It just feels pretty bad to lose out on our mana here. Rite of Oblivion is tempting. What if we flip our farmhand and then Rite of Oblivion the Grafted Identity? Still just like 1 mana short. It's so awkward. Let's see. They got something in the works here. They just no tapped their mana. There it is. Okay. This is pretty painful, though. I mean, it was clear they had a play, but I think we were good to just play the most cards that we could. Pretty close to dead now, though. we're just gonna have to like take a double block with the sentry and the farmhand and hope. All right, we're fucked. Damn. Five. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a depressing run with this deck. I assure you, this deck was good. I mean, the games we lost were mulligans, and then the Eaten Alive game was just that was kind of a low roll of a run. I know we messed up a handful of times, but this is way better than a 3-win deck. But it's the way the dice roll sometimes. So let's at least we'll get it pulled up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Okay, and so yeah, I mean, I think the deck is fine. The problems we ran into, I guess, the big question with this deck is should we have actually been playing this Rite of Oblivion? And I still stand by it. I think this was okay. We had pretty reasonable mana to be able to play it between Catilda, the Dawnheart or the Dawnheart Rejuvenator, the Rampant Growth, and the Jack-o'-lantern. I think that all worked out fine, and then all that mana fixing, we had plenty of stuff to do with our mana, and so having all the extra mana between the two mana units and the Rampant Growth, I thought was completely fine. That gives us in the space to where we have those turns to where we can play a dude and have 6 mana to activate something, or play a dude and activate a whatever the werewolf is, a hound tamer. Like I thought all of that was fine. We had some ultimately like really awkward draws, is what made me kind of like question whether or not we should have actually chased that down. And so, as far as this deck goes, I think the way I kind of look at it is we shouldn't have been playing Homestead Courage. We probably should have just played Pestilent Wolf, just like any unit. I think I would have felt happy with just some early game way to kind of stall out the board. The Homestead Courage has turned out to be kind of fine, but I mean, that's probably the play. I think the Pestilent Wolf probably would have been fine. Gives us a nice piece of early board stall. I could even see an argument for playing Plummet. Because if we like stop and say like, okay, how does this deck ever lose a game? It either gets fucked in the mana, or it loses to flyers. And like the games where we lost, where we had time with things on board, we lost all of those games to flyers. And so I could have even seen this being a deck where we would play a Plummet, but again, it probably should have just been a Pestilent Wolf in the deck over the Homestead Courage. And then I still think that the removal spell was fine. But I think the run at least kind of clearly showed why when you open up Wrenn and Seven, why you're completely happy just to take the defense straight. It's not like super super strong. It did well in the one game. It did a reasonable job of shutting down a dude's flyers in another game, but this isn't like an ultra super powerful planeswalker that's just going to like basically win you 95% of the games. Is a lot of the planeswalkers you would see in the past kind of functioned as. Same thing applies to Arlen. Like I'm not saying that they're bad cards. They're certainly good. They're certainly better than anything you can be doing for green for 5 mana. But this is certainly not like your, okay, I just opened a Planeswalker, this is going to carry me through like 4 games. It's not that level of strength. And so, again, like as we kind of look at this format, the problem that we have with starting with a card like even, with a Wrenn and Seven is you want to be starting in Esper, and you want to be kind of figuring out what is open between blue, white, and black. Ideally, 2 colors in blue, white, and black will be open. You just get to completely ignore green, red. But if you're not, once you're able to kind of assess which of the Esper colors is open, that's when you take your second step and kind of decide what is open between red and green. And so when you start out with green, it just puts you like really in a bind, in the sense that you're dodging the Esper colors, you're missing out on the good cards. Kind of B, starting with green black is dog shit, and so you're really counting on either white or blue being good. And then kind of part 3 is you've missed out on the Esper things. Then like, what if red is open? You really don't want to be playing werewolves, because I think the only thing worse than green black is green red. Like I know I've like talked about it once or twice, but I completely had a draft to where it was like we opened Arlen and got into this weird like red green thing, and then we also had a Wrenn and Seven, and then just had this just completely dog shit pile of deck. It was just like red green was clearly not open. It was clearly a draft to just completely be an Esper, but we got like a pick one Arlen and tried to play this kind of like blue green splash Arlen, and it never happened because the cards are all so bad. And it's like if that is the extent to which red green is bad, then it is pretty bad. If you're sporting the red green planeswalker, a second planeswalker, and you're like, you know what, this deck is just not very good, and so that is kind of my stance on Wrenn and Seven. I thought we at least got pretty lucky in terms of the white cards. I think that was kind of a downside to this one is the white cards, they were open pack one. We got some mediocre stuff. We did get to pick up. I thought we got a pretty high quality uncommon early. Did we not? Must have been in pack two where we just got the farmhand. Then pack three we had Adeline and Catilda, but again, that's what was like really an issue with this deck is we don't want to start in green, we don't want to play white unless we start with the white uncommons. And so unless we start with the ambitious farmhand, the dude that draws cards, the dual craft trainer, or if you hit a rare, if you Adeline is completely fine, but that's how you want to kind of like land in white. And so we didn't land in either of the colors in kind of the preferred way to do it. And so if you would take this deck and be like, what if how do we get back to our deck? It's so weird when it does this thing. Like if we don't want to draft green at the beginning at all, if we don't want to draft white unless we open some of these power cards, then like how do we land into green white? And I mean, we got like really, really, really lucky in a lot of these opens between Catilda, Adeline, Borrowed Time was passed to us late, Dawnhart Mentor was passed to us late, but it would be like very easy for this deck to just have like one good uncommon in it and then just a bunch of like fillery green-white cards. And so it's a bit unfortunate. I guess the last thing to say about the deck is that the best green card, in my opinion, in the format is Shadow Beast Sighting, and it only really plays well in blue-green. When you can ramp this out on the third turn, when you can do some mill strategies with it. It doesn't play fantastically here in green-white, and that is just another downside to the green. But nonetheless, I mean, we can look at the draft again. Like it feels like really painful to say when you see a pack like this and just be like, okay, it's a defense trait, right? Whenever you open a Wrenn and Seven and there's a green-white Coven card, but I'm pretty confident that that's where this would land. Is the ideal first pick out of this pack would just be defense trait, and then let someone downstream deal with Wrenn and Seven. I guess if it's earlier in the format and you want to rare draft him, then fine. But at this stage where we have the complete set, I'm pretty confident that defense trait is the pick over Wrenn and Seven, and then this just like messed up our draft the rest of the way. Like if we start with defense trait, come into pack two. I would have just taken Thermo Alchemist. I really do love a Thermo Alchemist, and I was kind of thinking of it earlier, but you can't play Thermo Alchemist in green-red. But, if you start with Wrenn and Seven with a really bad Esper pack, then you just kind of have to take the Hound Tamer. And so I wouldn't have been like too upset if we started off with Defense Straight into Corpse Cobble. I'm not sure what pack 3 would have been. It would have been like a Shady Traveler, but we could have assembled a pretty reasonable blue-black deck. But I think that was kind of the way to go. Would have been Defense Straight, Thermo Alchemist. Here you would be in on Moonrager Slash. With this one, probably have to take Arrogant Outlaw, which is it's not exciting, but this pack is not exciting. And then in pick 5, you have the high quality card in Vengeful Strangler. And then it looks like you're getting into a not very exciting black-red deck. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm happier with this deck we landed in. I think 9 times out of 10, you're just going to be happier with the defense straight. But if we take the Wrenn and Seven, I think that was fine. Wrenn and Seven into Hound Tamer into Shadow Beast Sighting. We're clearly playing green. And then we have to start picking another color. Again, black is awful and and red is awful. So you want to either be in white or blue. Blue-green is the preferable one, but green-white is fine. So we have the Morning Patrol, Candlegrove Witch. There's no blue cards to really assess in here. Dawnhart Rejuvenators is fine. again, the thing with the Dawnheart Rejuvenator's pick, there is a lot of times where you want to end up in 3 colors, like we did here today. There's not a lot of replacements for Dawnheart Rejuvenator, but there are replacements for things like Snarling Wolf. So I still think that was quite a good pick. Pestilent Wolf over a bunch of turds is fine. Trapper over Morning Patrol is fine. Duel for Dominance showing us that green is open. And so, yeah, I thought that was a pretty reasonable pack 1. We're pretty well locked into green X at this point. If we saw something, compelling here, like a Root Coil Creeper or a Slowgurk or a Winterthorn Blessing, wouldn't have been too tough for us to switch into blue-green. But we have the high-quality card and Ambitious Farmhand. Pretty reasonably easy take there, and then we are just shoved right into green-white. I think the Geist Wave is still fine. The Rite of Oblivion came in here. That was good. No white cards or blue cards worth taking. And then the Dawnheart Mentor cements us in the Coven strategy. So yeah, I don't know. Not a bad draft. I thought we handled it well. This kind of feels like one of these decks to where, if we're going to have a 70% win rate against the field, sometimes you just spike some bad ones. I still thought that matchup that we lost to Eaten Alive was kind of dumb. I think that's a game that in that space we probably lose, I don't know, 5% of the time. I just think it's so super unlikely that they've picked up a... I guess they have to specifically hit Oblivion Ring, Eaten Alive. It has to be an exile card, right? So Oblivion Ring, Eaten Alive, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like a very large portion of the time when you make that scry, you're going to be like, oh, should have hit a flyer. Like, I'm really excited about that. And then we just win the game in those spaces. And so, a bit unfortunate. But we got a handful of packs to crack here. We'll see what these are, then we'll call it a day. And then a reminder, if you do want to hang out, chat in the old stream as it is live. We'll be here on Sunday, again, around 8 a.m. Central Time. Look to be going for 3 or 4 hours or so. Try and get it going from around 8 in the morning until football comes on. And so there you have it. So that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the draft. You maybe learned how to assemble your coven a little bit better. Learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.